Hello, everyone. Dr. Holly here. Happy 5-Minute Friday. Today, I'm sharing with you a story. Instead of bringing you a training, I just wanted to share with you sort of my why about why I'm so passionate about Profit First. I actually had the opportunity to be interviewed on a podcast this week, and I was able to tell this story. I will post a link below if you're interested in seeing that longer version. I think the interview is about 27 minutes long. But essentially, I just want to give you the highlights of why I am so passionate about the work that I do currently and why I think it's so important. So I found Profit First through a mastermind program that I did with my former coach, who was the one who did the interview with me this week. And we were in a mastermind. It was a small group of other women in chiropractic. And so we read this book together, and it immediately clicked for me and for a couple other of the members. And so we held each other accountable to implementing, doing the system, starting with the assessment, implementing it, and seeing what it did for our lives and for our practices. And for the most part, it majorly transformed a few of our lives and businesses as we know it. Okay. So I know that's like a big promise, and you're probably thinking, okay, yeah, really, how did this system change your life? Well, I came from a background before chiropractic where I was familiar with billing and coding and insurance and the administrative side of medical offices, how to do the accounting, everything like that. And, so I just gravitated towards doing that when we were in practice together. But I also had to have my doctor hat on too, and with the extra added layer of practicing with my spouse, right? So all the things, all the time, right? So, I'm going to show you this next slide, with some pictures and stuff. It's like business was good, but was it great? And I just felt like there was just something else. It's like, okay, we've been in practice for a few years. We knew we were making money. We were generating money. Schedule was, relatively full, but something was missing, right? So when I read Profit First, it really opened my eyes to a new way, a new perception of how we can view numbers and manage cash and really simplify managing the financial side of our practice, right? So I love practicing on my own. I love mentoring students that want to open up their own practice. I think it's an amazing way to start out, okay? Because as you can see here, it gives you the opportunity to build the practice that you want and build the life that you want. I mean, my husband and I practiced together for almost 8 years. Those were the years where we, started growing our family, and I was able to have that flexibility, and I really didn't have to answer to anybody else about my preferences for how I wanted to take time off and how I wanted to prioritize things, right? I mean, these things will come up. But unfortunately, what happens in this profession is that we have a lot of women that leave this profession after they become mothers, or they are, hired on and they're not given really any supportive benefits to be able to mother and raise their families how they want to, right? So that's why I'm so passionate about getting clear on your numbers and simplifying the business of this so that we can keep moms, women, in this profession, okay? So I talk about an interview with Dr. Danielle, how and when an opportunity was presented to us when we were like at that year 7 in practice, it was an opportunity to switch things up a bit in life. And we took it because we knew we had built a really good thing. We were not looking necessarily to get out of that, but we knew there was something else. And when an opportunity lands in your lap and it's the right timing, it's the right timing, right? So that's the journey, that I have been on. That change happened 2.5, 3 years ago. I went and I moved into a coaching role. And then I've done this certification with Profit First just because I love money, I love the numbers, and I realize that not everybody does, okay? So that's why I do the work that I do, okay? Because when I did that assessment with Profit First, and that ratio, that compensation ratio, essentially is what slapped us in the face. Like, we knew the amount of number of money we were collecting, we knew what we were paying ourselves, but we didn't know the ratio of that. We didn't know how to make decisions off of how to set our prices, how even to set our salary, how to spend, how much time with a patient, what staff you have to have on to help you support seeing different types of patients. I mean, all of this can come down to numbers. And if you need somebody to help you look through the numbers and figure them out, I can certainly help you with that. And throughout this journey, I have been able to create this training that I have, which is numbers you need to know in chiropractic, because you need to know that compensation ratio. You need to know what you're worth, whether or not you're working for yourself or for somebody else. You need to know what those essential costs of doing business are, and you need to know what your potential is, because we have to set goals so we can meet them and exceed them. And you can have a fulfilling career in chiropractic. So I hope you have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you back here next week.